They were farmers, merchants, blacksmiths, and dreamers, ordinary men and women living under the vast shadow of the British Empire. Life in the 13 American colonies was, for many, a quiet existence. Yet, beneath the surface, a storm was gathering. A storm that would shake the foundations of the most powerful empire on earth and forever change what it means to be free. The year was 1775. No one could have predicted that this distant rebellion, born from a mix of simmering anger, soaring hope, and an unyielding belief in their rights, would ignite a war for independence. A conflict that started with a single shot would soon echo across the globe, altering the course of history forever. This is the story of how a revolution began, not with kings or generals, but with the simple, powerful idea of liberty. Stay with us as we dive into this incredible moment in time. The American Revolution was not born overnight. It was the inevitable consequence of decades of tension, resentment, and the unyielding desire of a people to govern themselves. The colonies scattered along the eastern seaboard had long flourished under British protection and trade, but their prosperity was always shadowed by the heavy hand of taxation, regulation, and the distant decrees of a king who cared little for their lives and struggles. From the imposition of the Stamp Act in 1765 to the Townshend Acts a decade later, the colonies had grown weary of paying for wars they had not fought and laws they had no voice in shaping. It began with whispers in taverns and town halls, letters exchanged in secret, and pamphlets, like Thomas Paine's Common Sense, that dared to question the authority of kings and parliaments. Slowly, a sense of unity emerged among 13 disparate colonies, a radical, dangerous unity that saw not themselves as separate provinces, but as one people, bound together by a shared yearning for liberty. In April of 1775, the tension erupted into violence at Lexington, where the first shots of the Revolution were fired. The shot heard round the world was not just a battle. It was a statement. It was the first spark of a flame that would engulf the continent. Ordinary citizens, armed with muskets and determination, faced the trained regiments of the British Army. Outnumbered, under-equipped, and inexperienced, they fought not for glory, but for their homes, their families, and a future free from tyranny. The British Empire, confident in its might and military discipline, expected the rebellion to be crushed swiftly. Yet the colonies refused to submit. George Washington, a Virginian planter chosen to lead the Continental Army, became the embodiment of the Revolution's ideals. Calm, steadfast, and resolute, he understood that victory would not come from a single battle, but through endurance, strategy, and unwavering resolve. The Revolution was brutal and relentless. Winter at Valley Forge tested the spirit of the Continental Army as hunger, disease, and frost threatened to destroy it. Yet in the face of unimaginable hardship, they endured. Soldiers trained, morale strengthened, and the vision of independence grew ever more tangible. Across the Atlantic, alliances were forged that would turn the tide. France, eager to weaken its old rival Britain, provided crucial aid troops, ships, and supplies that would change the course of the war. What if I told you that one of the most powerful empires in history was brought to its knees by a bunch of fed-up farmers and merchants? Let's rewind to the 1770s. The American colonies were getting pretty tired of British rule. Imagine getting taxed for everything, from your morning tea to the newspaper you read, all without having any say in the matter. That's exactly what was happening. Tensions boiled over with events like the Boston Tea Party, where colonists dumped a whole shipload of tea into the harbor. Tin came tea, shot heard round the world at Lexington and Concord, kicking off the American Revolution. For 8 long years, brave patriots fought against incredible odds for a radical idea: freedom and self-government. From George Washington's daring crossing of the Delaware to the decisive victory at Yorktown, it's a story of courage, sacrifice, and the birth of a nation. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic history shorts. And as the dust settled over a new nation, one truth remained clear: freedom is never given, it is claimed. And those who dare to claim it, against impossible odds, shaped the course of history forever. The American Revolution was not merely a battle for land or power. It was the birth of an idea, a declaration that the courage of ordinary people can challenge empires, and that the spark of liberty, once ignited, can illuminate the world for generations to come.